detail your full forecast coming up. Right now on News Channel 6 at 5, Augusta Regional is expanding. We'll take a look at plans for a new terminal at the airport and see what they're up to for Masters Week.
Plus, the Columbia County Sheriff's Office is looking to hire the positions they're hoping to fill.
And raising teacher pay, a call from South Carolina's superintendent's office to try to keep educators in the classroom and fill all the job openings they have. Your News at 5 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 5.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Brad Means.
And I'm Jenny Montgomery. Thank you so much for joining us. Coverage you can count on begins with Augusta Regional Airport possibly getting bigger. A proposed expansion would create room for more planes. News Channel 6's Mary Calkins is live tonight at the airport. Mary, the plans would bring big changes for passengers flying in and out of Bush Field.
Ginny, that's right. And this proposed expansion, that could mean more places for people to sit, more room for planes. And the executive director of the airport even says it could even mean more airline partners. But now this proposal is just in the beginning stages.
What it would do would give us about 1,800 square feet of existing seating space. But more importantly, what it would do would be allow the installation of 2 additional passenger boarding bridges.
That means the East Terminal would be enclosed so passengers getting off their flight don't have to walk through a parking lot to get inside the airport.
Because right now those gates are not configured for passenger boarding bridges. They were just walk-down gates. So there's a portion on the east end of the terminal that 10 years ago, it was made for propeller aircraft, so we had to ground board, but those aircraft are no longer in the fleet any longer.
The airport executive director says enclosed boarding bridges would make the airport more attractive to new airline partners.
I think it helps. I mean, it shows that the airport is configured and ready for growth. So I think that sends a strong message to the airlines. It's a huge customer amenity. So if we would be prepared for new airlines, and then if we were to get new airlines, their passengers would be able to use a bridge instead of go outside and be exposed to the elements.
Juden says the building cost of the project would be roughly $2 million. Thursday, the commission heard the proposal for the first time, so there's still a ways to go.
So what we'll do now is we'll take it to the airport construction committee, and we'll vet it, answer any questions, provide details, and at that point we'll do what we call a work authorization and probably task our engineering contractor to start design and eventually put it out for bid.
In the commission meeting, the commissioners also heard what's called the obstruction report. Now, that's a report on things like trees or anything that could become an obstacle on the runway during takeoff and landing. Now, over the next year, they will be working to remove things that could become an obstruction in the future. Reporting live from the airport, Mary Calkins, WJBF News Channel 6.
Augusta's vaccine incentive program is about to end. This is the one where you get $100 every time you get one of the coronavirus vaccine shots. The city has been doing it for a while now. They had $1.5 million set aside to pay for it. Christ Community Health has been involved in this since day one, and they say the program played a big role to get people vaccinated.
It was a combination of the incentive, more people hearing about COVID and understanding with the wave we've seen with Omicron, and understanding more about how this can impact people. I think all these things working together, including the incentive, have encouraged people to come in and get the vaccination.
They gave out 8,000 shots and then some, more than 5,000 gift cards, and all told, with all the expenses, the program cost just over $750,000.
The wait for your COVID-19 test results is getting shorter. South Carolina DHEC says people can now expect results back within 72 hours. State health officials say this is because Premier Medical is now caught up on backlogged cases. The Director of Public Health, Dr. Brandon Traxler, says cases remain high across South Carolina, but over the last few weeks, cases have not increased quite as quickly.
This processing delay was due to an extraordinary volume of testing data that was funneling into a single software system that was not able to process it, basically. And the long upload times of these very large data files created a backlog that could not be accelerated any, nor could that data, that is data files that were waiting to be uploaded, they could not be analyzed and responsibly vetted while they were waiting for upload.
DHEC says it may take a few days to release the percent positivity values, but we do expect the agency to release some of the backlog data shortly. Chief Meteorologist Tim.
30 degrees, maybe even some teens. We're going to talk about that and the potential of some winter weather for areas not that far from home. All that with your forecast, all coming up in just a bit. Jenny, Brent.
All right, Tim, thank you. Law enforcement agencies all over this area need more employees, especially sheriff's deputies. It's gotten very competitive. The Columbia County Sheriff's Office held a career fair today, trying to meet with people interested in joining the force. News Channel 6's Chloe Salsameda is live outside the sheriff's office. And Chloe, it really has gotten difficult for these departments to recruit more people.
And there are more than a dozen law enforcement agencies just in our area, and they're all competing with each other to hire from a small pool of candidates. Law enforcement is more than just a job for Tobias Uhouse.
I'd like to say it's like a family thing. I've had uncles, cousins, people all through our family that's always been involved in law enforcement.
He's been part of the force for 20 years, working in different departments in the Pittsburgh area. Now that he's moved to Georgia, he wants to serve in this community.
You want to live in an area that you know is safe, and what better way to make it safe than working there yourself?
That sense of service is one of the top qualities they're looking for in the Columbia County Sheriff's Office.
Law enforcement is not something that you just do. You have to have your heart into it.
The department is hiring patrol deputies, deputy jailers, and communications officers. Like other sheriff's offices, they have several open positions.
There's always a turnover in this profession because of, as they say, you don't get rich in law enforcement. But during these COVID times, I believe there's more.
And it's more competitive. Columbia County raised its minimum wage last year, a strategy to keep existing employees and recruit new ones.
Columbia County sticks out because it starts from the top. So we have management and leadership up top, and it passes down to, the guys that work on the ship, the guys and ladies that work on the ship.
They hope benefits like this will recruit people like Tobias.
Why not work in the community that you live in?
Education is important here at the Columbia County Sheriff's Office, so you will be required to have a high school diploma or a GED to get hired. Live in Columbia County, Chloe Salsameda, Wjbf, News Channel 6.
All right, Chloe, thank you for that. Waynesboro police are investigating after a body was found in a car at a restaurant. Investigators made that discovery at Pizza Hut on North Liberty Street this morning. They're not yet sure how the man died, and they have not released his identity. We'll continue to work to gather that information, and when we do, we'll share it with you.
South Carolina